What up, everybody? It's your boy Holy Joe Rock and Roll. This is a live stream. I think we got some of the bugs worked out. I think you can see me. Got some of my album cover art in the background there. Wanted to talk to you today real quick about what's going on in the 2016 presidential campaign. You know, we've got Hillary Clinton versus Donald J. Trump. And we just saw the really probably the most divisive, horrible personal attacks in probably modern history happen. And one thing that I want to point out, I mentioned this in my review of the second debate, where I believe it is pretty obvious that Trump dominated the debate, and it really was a 3-on-1 competition. The moderators were constantly interrupting, and the way it started out, 30 minutes talking about an 11-year-old audio tape, a private audio tape that was between two guys jostling, so-called locker room talk about how alpha male they are. And let's be honest, it's a total non-issue. And, one thing that's puzzling me is I've talked to some so-called evangelical Christians, not many of them, but one in particular. I went to high school with him, and I really thought he was going to be pro-Trump for a lot of issues. And this is a few months back, so maybe he has come on board the Trump train. But he made the comment that, Trump's been divorced 3 times, and, this is not Christian behavior. And I'm saying, bro, compared to what? Compared to Hillary Clinton, who has been lying her entire career, has been all talk, no action, who has actually defended Bill Clinton's sexual deviant behavior and rape, called his victims all kinds of names, and actually gone after them. This is what you're gonna vote for Hillary, or you're not gonna vote at all, or you're gonna go with Donald Trump, who at least arguably is going to support Christian values in as much as he can. This is a guy who doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't do drugs, and has been extremely successful. And you see this in his kids, and how many famous children are addicted to drugs or died of overdoses or in trouble with the law because they led some kind of crazy entitlement lifestyle, and the parents let that happen. You can see that in Donald Trump. He's raised his kids correctly, and they're all active members in his business, but also none of them are in trouble, none of them are on drugs, none of them are causing problems, right? So from that perspective, you have to say, now you could say the same thing about Chelsea, although there's just one kid versus he's got 5 kids, okay? He's got 5 kids to feed, baby. Just like on Total Recall, remember? Benny? Man, I got 5 kids to feed. Hey, by the way, right up there, you can follow me on Twitter, at Holy Joe Rock. You can subscribe to this channel, Joe Bonsai Poland. This is the Holy Joe Rock and Roll official channel for all my music, political stuff. But also, I did switch over to SoundCloud. So if you go to soundcloud.com, and just search in there for Holy Joe Rock and Roll, got to spell it out, you will be able to find my latest music. It's now on SoundCloud. Let me see if I can edit something over here real quick. My social media, if it has the ability to put in SoundCloud. Hope I don't screw this thing up. But that's number one. I was talking about the so-called social or evangelical Christians, which I think is pretty, it's really like a non-issue for me what Trump said. And I don't know how many of you agree with that, but the fact that the media has totally ignored all of Bill Clinton's behavior, that, in fact, Bill Clinton was impeached because he lied under oath. I did not have sex with that woman, Miss Lewinsky, whatever. And then remember, Hillary covered it up, saying that it was a vast right-wing conspiracy against her husband. It was not a vast right-wing conspiracy against her husband. That's number one. Number two, the dude lied. The dude was you could argue that he was a good president, but mainly because of issues that had nothing to do with him. Look, we had the peace dividend brought to you by Ronald Reagan and George Herbert Walker Bush, first Bush, right? They presided over the end of the Cold War. So you had this peace dividend, which meant that you could spend less on the military. So there was a contraction in budget spendings. That's number one. Number two, you had the dot-com bomb. Well, you had the dot-com bubble first, which meant there was tons of jobs. I mean, I knew people who didn't know anything about the internet that got jobs in dot-com type companies. For a while, at least, until the dot-com bombed out, starting in March 2000. But before that, 2001 or 2000, whenever the dot-com bubble burst, and then it started slowly but steadily, everything collapsed. So all these people that, you might say they were sort of not exactly losers, but not really key contributors to a company, they all lost their jobs. Even engineers lost their jobs. It was difficult for me to get a job after the dot-com bomb burst, and then you had 9/11 in September 2001. So it was a bad time for a lot of people, and that was already George W. Bush was now the president for 7, 8, 9, 10 months when 9/11 hit. So you can say that, yeah, there was good times under Bill Clinton's administration during that time. But think about it. There was also, you had Newt Gingrich from the Congress, from the House, the Speaker of the House, forced Clinton to balance the budgets, okay? And, the same people who hate Newt Gingrich today are the same people who hate Donald J. Trump. And if you pay attention to, people have asked Newt, how did he do it? How did he get to a balanced budget? And he told every member of Congress, you got to bring me something that we can cut. Now think about that. When you think about the big money donors, the people who control Congress, mainly the donors, right? These people are all giving money to their Congress people in donations, campaign contributions to get stuff back. You don't give money. I mean, you might give some money, a couple $100 to a candidate because you like them or you want them to be successful, but that's not what's been happening. You have companies and individuals giving large amounts of donations. Now you can do it to super PACs. So this is money that's not even given to the candidate directly, and supposedly there's an arm's length, no communication between candidates and their super PACs. But we know this is not true. Come on, you don't think the super PACs are communicating with the candidate indirectly or through a third party? They have to be. There has to be some kind of coordination, and that's going on in all these campaigns. But these people all want something. So imagine the hatred, the anger, and also the political cronyism, butthurt that happened when you tell your congressperson, everybody in Congress, you got to bring me something to cut. So when that congressperson goes back and says to whatever, Joe Blow contributor, hey, you know what? I know you gave $1 million to my campaign, but I'm not going to be able to give you that contract that we talked about, or whatever. I mean, maybe it's not even that blatant, but whatever sort of political favors they wanted in terms of government contracts or in terms of money, they're not able to give. They're not able to provide that because of the cuts, right? I got to cut something. And that helped balance the budget. And think about how simple that is. It just took leadership, right? Leadership and really forcing these Congress people to stop spending money that we don't have. And the budget was balanced. Anyways, that was something that happened. But you see these same people that hated Newt or hate Newt now also hate Trump because they know this is what's coming, people. I mean, just prepare yourself. But it's all good. I mean, it's all good. If you want to improve what's happening in the United States, you want to improve the economy, this is what has to happen, right? The wasteful spending has to stop. And it starts with the budget. But it starts with Congress people not putting stuff in the budget that is a waste. And I think you feel it, baby. You feel it. That's what's going to happen. These special interests, these people who have given these huge contributions to to Hillary particularly, if Trump wins, they're out on the street. I mean, it's not to say that someone will do something to harm them, to hurt them, but definitely they're not going to have the privileged position that they had before. They may or may not have a seat at the table, but the free money, the waste, the fraud, the abuse, it's going to be gone. We just heard that the State Department can't find what, $6 or $7 or $8 billion. They don't know where the money went. How do you hide? How do you lose $8 billion? Right? And you hear all these stories about there was a gas station in Afghanistan built, and it cost $500,000, $500 million to build a gas station, when we know that, come on, gas stations shouldn't cost more than a couple $100,000 or maybe $1 million, depending upon what has to be installed. Come on, it's a gas station. $500 million for a gas station. Who got paid off on that? Think about it. Who got paid off on that? So this whole locker room talk, obviously Trump has put it to rest at the debate, and then because not only the moderator but Hillary has continually tried to paint Trump as all the isms, right? Racism, Islamophobia. Oh, by the way, Islam is not a race. Okay, it's an ideology masking as a religion. Let's be honest about it. The Quran actually says, this is their holy book, tells you how to be a Muslim. And it is not compatible with Western liberal democracies, right? If you are going to follow what it says in the Quran. It just doesn't. So Trump had a great second debate. The coverage, for the most part, has been positive towards that. However, we are seeing a skewed poll that says that after the second debate, Hillary is up 9 or 11 points nationwide. But then you look at it, I think they only polled like 50 people. It's just insane. This is nonsense. You look at some of the latest rallies that Donald Trump has had. I mean, we're talking just massive rallies. Wherever he goes, 20, 25,000 people. The momentum is totally with Trump, and I really believe that these swing states are going to go for Trump. It's going to be a blowout. Trump is going to win this election. And I already have 4 pro-Trump theme songs. You can check them out on my SoundCloud.com channel. But I'm working on a 5th one, which is entitled "Trump is Going to Win." All right? It's a little bit, it's right now it's a bluesy, I guess you would call it the blues, like a Chicago-style blues theme song. So I'm working on that. But my latest song, and I just uploaded it today, it's called "I Was Looking for You." This is just a song, not a theme song, it's just a song. I was looking for you, and anyone who has had a foreign girlfriend or has tried to get a girlfriend who didn't speak your language, right, whatever the language is, that is for you, okay? That song is called "I Was Looking for You," and it's all about that. And if you listen to it, and you know what I'm talking about, people, you know what I'm talking about. They say communication is what makes a relationship good, but sometimes it's what you cannot say that makes you better understood. Yeah! So check that out on SoundCloud.com. Just search in SoundCloud.com for Holy Joe Rock and Roll, and you'll find it. It's the lead tune on the channel now. Let me sign off, everybody. Thank you for watching. This is the live stream. I think we got this technology just about nailed down, and I'll talk to you soon. Remember to make it happen for the captain, because you're the captain.